Hi, I'm Natalie Ledwell, and today I'd like to share with you how to stop self-doubt and negative thoughts. Now, here's the thing about self-doubt and other negative thoughts. It's an entirely normal and natural gut reaction that we all experience at some point in our lives. So without the right tools, self-doubt may be more familiar to some than others, and maybe that includes you. That's why I'd like to share with you some of my personal tips for overcoming those negative thoughts that just hold us back from our life's true potential. So why do I want to do that? Well, because I've been there. Maybe you want to try something new or turn your hobby into a business, but you fear the unknown. Or perhaps you want to meet new people, but you're afraid of what they will think of you. So whatever the reason is, here are some tips to combat those deep-rooted negative thoughts so that you can start living the life that you deserve. So tip number 1 is to free yourself from the comparison trap. Right, so self-doubt can be seen as the direct result of the fear of failure. So sometimes it makes getting started or finishing things much harder than it needs to be. And especially in a world where sharing on social media has become the new normal, and comparing yourself to everything and everybody else out there can be absolutely detrimental to personal development. That's why I say don't get stuck in the comparison trap, which is that endless circle of thinking that you aren't living up to what everybody else is doing. And the truth is, you're not. You know why? Because what everyone else is doing has absolutely nothing to do with the path that you are on. Now, you must understand that your existence in this world is 100% unique to you. So instead of scrolling through the social media feed to see what others are doing, start by making a list of your strengths. Now, this can be as specific as you'd like it to be, but be sure to write everything down, as you may soon discover kinds of things that will bring you pure bliss. Anyway, all you're doing is really comparing yourself to the facade. So have you ever noticed when people on Facebook are posting only positive things? You never hear about the heartache, you never hear about the struggle. And what they're doing is putting up a facade like everything is okay. Now, what we're doing is now comparing ourselves to the facade or to the person that they want us to see, which is not necessarily the person that they are. And it's not necessarily the situation that's going on. Now, we all know, personally, behind the scenes, we struggle. We have heartbreak. We have challenges. But we don't want other people to be able to see that. So all you're doing is comparing yourself to the big picture that they want you to see and not actually what's going on. So we have to stop comparing ourselves to other people. Remember, you are the only one that can walk in your path, and it's not meant for everybody else. Number 2 is find your bliss. Finding your bliss is so incredibly crucial to overcoming negative thoughts. There should be absolutely not 1 ounce of self-doubt if you're living your most joyous life, doing exactly what it is that you love. So if you find yourself in a situation where you know you can see much more to life, whether that's at work or relationships or whatever area of life that is, understand that you can start to see those scenarios as just temporary. They're not permanent. Because the truth is, you and only you have the power to change what you don't like. So whatever you get the most joy out of, that's living your most authentic life. And that's in bliss. So again, pull out that journal and start making a list of all the things that make you happy. And be sure to keep that list close by so you can always reference it when you're in need of a little bit of reassurance, and continue adding to it as you start to uncover more. Now, I have a list of what gives me bliss, what puts me in my happy place and gives me joy. And I keep it on the window behind my computer. And on this list is a whole number of things that really bring me joy. So I know that if I'm in a moment where I've got self-doubt, when I'm feeling a low energy, I will look at the list and go, what can I do on that list in this moment that's going to make me feel good? Now, it could be simply listening to my favorite song. It could be dancing around the house. It could be taking Bella out for a walk and being grateful for what I have. It could be going for a drive in the car. It could just be having a cup of tea and sitting there mindfully and just focusing on my tea and nothing else in that moment and having a special mindful moment. It could even be a little meditation. Now, make sure that you have your list, and once you shift your thoughts to a place of joyfulness, your mind will have no room to keep those feelings of self-doubt in. You push that out and only joyful feelings are inside. So number 3 is mistakes are okay. They're okay with me. Now, if you know anyone who's successful, they didn't just wake up one day and were successful. They took some hard knocks. They made mistakes. And the mistakes were the things that made them grow, that made them expand, that gave them the opportunity to learn what they needed to finally reach the success they want. So if you've been following me for a while, you're probably familiar with the My Movie story. I mean, oh my goodness, talk about mistakes and challenges. I mean, there were so many to mention. I mean, we rented an apartment under the flight path of San Diego Airport. So every minute we had planes going over the top of us, and it was so loud we couldn't even record videos there. You know, we didn't know what we were doing, and so we had to learn along the way and make so many mistakes as we were doing that. You know, we had our email delivery system shut us down. We had PayPal freeze our account. We had someone who was so upset by one of our pre-made My Movies, we had to remake it on the morning of our pre-launch. There were so many things that went wrong and so many mistakes that they made. And sure, there were speed bumps, even roadblocks along the way. But because I discovered my bliss and found my purpose, and I knew in every fibre of my being that My Movies was going to be a success, I knew that it was all part of the process. And it's what kept us persevering despite our reality screaming at us that this isn't working. That's why mistakes are absolutely okay. The truth is, if you aren't making any mistakes, you may not be trying your hardest. For me, mistakes had to happen in order for success to follow. And I would never have known which decisions to make or what steps to take if I didn't get out there and try and fail and fail and fail again. As my friend Jack Canfield says, he said, everything that you want is on the other side of that fear. The difference between people who are successful, who are still on their way to success, are successful people fear the fear, but they don't stay there, they keep moving. So you've got to keep moving. Because the tip number 4 is be willing to take risks. So if negative thoughts are preventing you from taking that big leap, remember that everyone who is living a life of their absolute wildest dreams once had to make the decision to be bold and to be fearless. So if there's a new business venture, a job opportunity, or you're just wanting to get out of your comfort zone for new possibilities, then the secret is just to try. Often we get discouraged by the word risk. Historically, it's had a bit of a negative connotation to it. So if you start to shift your mind to think of taking a risk as the ability to try, you open yourself up to even more possibilities. J.K. Rowling explains it like this. She says that failure is so important. We speak about success all the time. It is the ability to resist failure or use failure that often leads to greater success. I've met people who don't want to try for fear of failing. Guys, life is short. How many times have we all heard that before? But I know I've heard it hundreds of times and I'm repeating it to you yet again because that's exactly the reason why we've got to be fearless and start taking risks. So apply for that dream job, launch that website, take that new class and expect to make mistakes. Remember, you're not alone. Self-doubt happens to all of us. But with these tools that I've shared with you, I know that you'll be on your way to living the kind of life that you want and that you absolutely deserve. Now, before I go, I'd love to hear from you. Do you have any other tips that you've used that have helped you to overcome negative thoughts? If you have, I encourage you to please share them here in the comment box. And don't forget to subscribe to the My Movies channel for more videos on personal growth and the law of attraction. Again, my name is Natalie Ledwell. Thank you for watching and bye for now.